Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. In this video I spent 12 hours trying to push boss rush past where anyone thought was possible. Past 191 pops where even the famous Ryan Mahalik stopped, past the scores of all the boss rush pros I know, all the way to 195 pops. Now that might not sound like a huge difference, but going from 191 to 195 took 4 game-changing optimizations, each taking hours to discover and even longer to pull off. So without further ado, let's hop right into this. We'll be starting off with my 191 run. This is just going to be showing the general strategy without all the massive improvements that I'll be making later. Alright, we're going to be starting off with a Spike Factory. We're going to be targeting away from the track, just to hit Red Balloon, and then a couple of Alchemists in order to make sure that the Spike Factory can actually hit Red Balloon, as it would be kind of bad if it just did no damage. Of course, getting it up to a Moab Shredder as soon as possible. And you can see that before I get it to a Moab Shredder, I actually upgraded the Alchemist to the bottom path because I'll be upgrading it again later. And yes, I've run this so many times that I do even the most minute upgrades just a little bit earlier because it doesn't affect me later, and hey, that faster throwing could result in me dealing 1 more damage to Red Balloon. I get down a 3rd Alchemist, Benjamin, an Embrittlement, a Balloon Trap. We're going for literally everything. Alright, the Embrittlement, of course, will be able to permanently de-ledge Red Balloon once he gets into the hang of it. And Benjamin makes money, these balloon traps we're placing down make money, and the rubber to golds make money. Alright, this run is all about money, 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 because we're trying to afford one of the most expensive Paragons in the entire game. That is, of course, the Spike Factory Paragon, and in order to afford that guy, you best believe I'm going to be as greedy as humanly possible. Speaking of greed, instead of going for defense against this horde of rock balloons, I get up 2 Overdrives who are going to be able to handle the support immune phase, and now I'm going for a little tack in the back and a Spike Factory to handle all these rocks back here, because they are very dangerous. They also handle camos. Up next, we're doing a very sweaty thing. It's pretty much the same as the start, but instead of having 1 Spike Factory and 4 Alchemists, I'm putting down about 20 Alchemists, 4 Spike Factories, and targeting them all to hit the boss, ideally, and then selling a bunch of stuff in order to get up a big trap, because the big traps make a ton of money, especially around 40 plus. And now, up next, we're going to be going for Spirit of the Forest, who makes a ton of money, but also will deal with balloons in such a way so that these Spike Factories can actually target Red Balloon, and it won't be stealing too many pops from the big trap. I know that is kind of a worry. Maybe I should have gone with a different trap, but whatever. Then we're going to be getting the Mad, right? We did these Spike Factories so that we go for Mad, and we use that overclock trick, right? You get a tier 4, you overclock it, and then you make the upgrade to the Mad and use the Mad ability, and then we immediately go for Carpeted Spikes, which we have to get up very fast, otherwise it'll be immune to support too soon. And now we are going to be targeting all these Moab Shredders over here so that later, when the boss is immune to primary, they'll be able to help out with those. The Mad is, of course, also being helped. It ideally would have an Alchemist, but we'll be doing that later. This is, as I said, not very optimal. But yes, now we're going to be saving up for a Dart Paragon, as once we are done with the immune to primary phase, we're going to be getting the Dart Paragon up. This part is kind of a very slow segment that I'll be speeding up a ton in the later runs. However, while we're here, I guess you guys could, leave a like, subscribe, use code YOBOY. I spent a ridiculous amount of time on this. The 12 hours is just the amount of gameplay I did, but I probably also spent another couple of hours texting people about strategies, another couple of hours of just editing. God, I hate voiceovers. They're so much pain, but, videos wouldn't be the same without them, obviously. And just late nights after I was done with this run, right, it was 2 a.m. when I was finished with my final run, I actually was just fully thinking and playing out this run, alright, just over and over again. I was just visualizing me fighting Red Balloon. So, that's fun. This is very psychologically beneficial. But anyways, we get up that Dart Paragon, and it's going to be able to absolutely demolish Red Balloon. It actually does get blocked by these rocks for a little bit, but here we should be targeting the Mad to break the rock, and then it can hit Red Balloon, but hey, whatever. Immediately after we go for the Dart Paragon, we're going to be selling the Mad and getting up a support Sun Temple. This guy's near the entrance, so that the trap will be making 25% more money. Hey, yo boy, isn't it supposed to actually make 50% more money? This is true. Wow, I'm getting behind. This is true, however, the trap already makes a bunch more money, and the rubber to golds exist. But yeah, up next we're going to be trying to get down a bunch of things which are going to be able to demolish the immune to primary phase, as of course the Dart Paragon is not going to be able to hit it. Now, what we're going for here is just the OP tier 5s and spamming down a ton of overclocks, right? We got the Permanent Brew, who's going to be giving a 17% attack buff and a good damage buff to a bunch of towers as well. And the Sun Temple buff does pretty much the exact same thing, very powerful, and the Sun Temple is making money and getting us discounts. But pretty much we get up the Flying Fortress, the Super Mines, the MAD, whose ability is already prepped up. And the second that we hit Skull 120, we're going to be selling the Dark Gun, getting our Mad ability down, getting down the Carpet of Spikes, who we can now do Bottom Path, even though you might be saying, doesn't the Bottom Path not hit leads? But with the Permanent Brew, it actually will allow everything to hit lead and be able to deal damage to Dread Balloon. This is, once again, like a really slow kill. I mean, I have this sped up at 1.5 times speed, and it's still, like, very slow for you guys to watch, which is just, it's so funny because all I can think of is, you know, the 6 hours of really good runs I did, not this first run here, and those 6 hours, you know, everything was zip-zap, bam, we're getting things done. But yeah, we're building down all the tier 5 darts because we want to get up a degree 40, I believe, for the next Dart Paragon. We hit 3 of them in total, which is kind of funny. I guess Dart Paragon is just absolutely killer on this map. It goes crazy. But yeah, we're going to be getting it in this placement, not right there, but the 0-0 Dart Monkey we have in the middle of those 2 hedges is where we're going to be putting it. And I want to say that until the end of June, right, so for the next month, all proceeds from Code Boy, that's YOBY, in the BTD6 store, is going to be going to the Sarcoma Foundation in Technoblade's name, alright? Very big legend, inspired me to do YouTube. I guess he, you know, has been dead for a while now, but now I'm doing YouTube. He passed away on June 30th from sarcoma himself, and before he did it, he raised a ton of money for charity. And, you know, I just want to kind of spread my own thing, and I'll just probably do this every year. But just, you know, for the month of June, all money from Codio Boy is going to the Sarcoma Foundation. Anyways, back to the video. Now we're just getting up to the last couple of tier 4s so that we can try to really get the degree 40 Dart Paragon, because degree 20 is just way weaker. Here we get a degree 36. As I said, not the most optimal run. I'm going to speed up the next bunch of skulls up until 160 pops by an absolute ton. This is at 4 times speed because literally all we're doing is placing down a bunch of spike factories, which are 0, 2, 3s, because those are the cheapest tier 3. Trying to get them in range of the temple for the discount because I'm kind of just looking for tiers here. I'm not entirely sure how well I'll be able to afford the Paragon. You know, this is kind of one of my first good runs, so I'm always nervous. You know, I don't want to mess it up with something stupid like not being able to afford. But yeah, we keep the Flying Fortress up because it's able to do a pretty decent amount of damage to Dread Balloon. I mean, it's nothing compared to the Dark Paragon, but it's probably like 5 or 10% faster if I have it up. So, you know, it's obviously worth it, at least in my book. And now all these rock balloons are going to be blocking because, you know, they're immune to support, which is why we have to pop Skull 160 before we can switch on to the Spike Factory Paragon. But without further ado, here we are at 160. We sell literally everything expensive and then get up the Spike Factory Paragon, and it's degree 6-7. Alright, now this Spike Factory Paragon is the most insane beast in Boss Rush. Alright, I get a Mad down. This Mad does literally 0 damage compared to the Spike Gun. It can't even break these rocks, okay? And these are support immune rocks, which is why they're going through. And somehow I actually managed to live against them. I guess the Spirit of the Force generated me about 1,000 lives, but yeah. Now you can just see the Spike Gun demolish these skulls. It's going pretty much as fast as the Dart Paragon was popping its skulls, other than this little hole we have right here where it's not actually hitting. But pretty much the Spike Factory Paragon attacks faster at the start of a round, and because of how fast it kills the boss, every single second is the start of a round. You know what I mean? I mean, it just demolishes. It's a crazy combination. And by combination, I mean it's literally just putting it into Boss Rush is the combination, but yeah, it does absurd damage. And you can see here Dread Balloon has like 3 million HP or more because the Rock Shield, and it's just getting demolished, alright? And so everyone knew what the strategy was going to be: get Spike Gun and then spam random Paragons, right? Notably, Dart Paragon, right? I got it up here. It's, I think, degree 30. We should have it degree 40. That's what we're doing at the end. And then we're going for Druid Paragon, which we'll be selling Spike Paragon for right at Skull 190. And here I max out my slider almost. I leave about $12,000 so that the Druid Paragon can attack some. And I realized that was a horrible, horrible mistake because I ran out of money super fast and ended up having to sell my Dart Paragon. But hey, 191 pops ain't too bad. Now before I show you the first major improvement, I want to show you this major not improvement, alright? Every improvement you make You gotta try about a dozen horrible things first. And here we have me going for the Avatar of Wrath of all things. I mean, what was I thinking? This guy is so expensive. Alright, it's way worse than Sky Shredder. It's barely damaging the boss. Look at this, with a full Populist army. It does, like, no damage. I mean, what was I even thinking? Yeah, well, yeah, put down an Alchemist, buddy. That'll help. This poor man, he doesn't know. He was about to spend another 11 hours playing this video game over the next, like, 2 days. Up next, we have improvement number 1, which is actually kind of a 2-part special. So my good friend Space Cat, he is a boss rusher who I would consider is better than me. He was looking at some of my runs, and he asked me, why are you getting temples so late? And so he's told me, you should sell all of your Spike army and stuff and get up the temple before the Dark Paragon, which just makes so much sense. I mean, I got the temple up probably 10 skulls before I did last time, and you can see here that because I was just playing the game faster and better, and actually, like, you know, kind of just doing everything right with the mat and all that stuff, that I'm popping the boss before I was last run anyways. So there's just no reason not to get the temple up early. And look, it's discounting all these tier 5 darts, which I would have just been wasting money on, alright? This probably got me $50,000 closer in the early game. And the best part is, we can still afford to get the dart gun up just in time. However, it is slightly closer, so some runs might die to RNG. And the next importance change, still in the same run, is that we're going to be getting down a pool and getting down the Energizer. Now what the Energizer does, it allows us to go from 8 overclocks to only 4 in order to get almost completely full uptime on all of my tier 5 towers, which is of course extremely powerful, and it'll also be reducing the mat ability cooldown. It'll be reducing just all sorts of things and be very powerful this run. For only $30,000, it's kind of a no-brainer. Not sure how I forgot it, probably because I have no brain. And here's the rest of this run. You can see the 2 changes made a massive difference because we are killing Dread Balloon way sooner and we have way more money. Alright, $850,000 this time with a full map of Spike Factories tier 3 and above versus last time when we were kind of just stuck getting barely able to afford the Spike Factory Paragon. Yeah, this helped a ton. And we even have the balloon trap still up. We get up a degree 67 Spike Factory Paragon, and this is obviously not perfectly optimal. You could see that the Dart Paragon that I previously sold was actually just a degree 38, when it would have been a degree 40 had I spent maybe another $10,000 to $20,000 on it, which is $10,000 to $20,000 that I so easily had, alright? I had $120,000 to sacrifice to the Spike Factory Paragon, which means that I could have sacked some of that and still gotten a degree like 66 or whatever. Up next here, of course, we were just going for that Dart Paragon. It's going to help out again, and I sacrifice all the money I can to it, but it's well over degree 40, so, you know, another thing to optimize. It's kind of annoying how, like, every single detail of a run has to be completely perfect. The smallest mistake is enough to mess things up, alright? You need perfect placements, you need the Paragon degrees, you need everything, and, you know, Ninja Kiwi won't make a mod, or, like, they won't add in so that you can, by default, see what the Paragon degree will be when you buy it, which is just really annoying. I don't see why they don't do that. But here, I finally get to 192, and I know how many mistakes I made this run, and I'm like, okay, this is where I realized 195, which was my goal from the start. This is when I realized it was possible, which is crazy. Anyways, guys, back to the fail compilation. You can see here on round 120, I'm like, what if we get a Subgon? Because, you know, it is the next cheapest Paragon that isn't a primary Paragon. Obviously, Boomerang's cheaper, but, you know, it's primary. And so I get this down Subgon, and obviously it would be way powerful at degree 20, but the main issue is that we're already losing out on like $150,000 just by making the Paragon, and this guy sucks. I mean, like, what? He's probably as fast as my previous 120s, but he's losing so much money, and my previous 120s also sucked. I mean, I'm gonna optimize that so much harder. This is pathetic, and I'm losing all my money. This run ends up getting like 160 pops because I couldn't even afford the Spike Gun at the end. Horrible idea. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the most exciting part, which is me spending 10 whole minutes resetting my monkey knowledge tree. Yes, that is partially my fault because, look, the monkey knowledge that we need removed is Big Balloon Sabotage, and you're watching me currently buy it and then have to reset it again. Oops, that's kind of my bad. Kind of a fool. But it takes away 10% of HP from all Moabs, which you might think is good because then my towers can focus the boss more. But it's actually really bad because I'm getting less Paragon pops, and I was told you'd get a bunch more pops on your spike factories if you just turn that thing off, and that'll allow me to get degree 71. And by the way, the degree 71 is 18% better than a degree 70. It's that big of a difference, so I need it in order to get to above 192. And here is one last final distractor, because I had like 10 hours of failed runs. I'm showing you guys the best things, and so here's one more failure. You can see I'm at a very good pace. I'd probably get 192, even 193, and I put the Druid gun in the wrong position. It can't even hit the boss. What am I doing? No! Alright, yo boy, that's enough baiting. Let's go on to the final thing. What really made me able to beat Dread Balloon and get 195 pops, and you might have noticed it already, it's the Ultra Boost, alright? What I'm doing here, and sorry about the pauses, I'm getting a bit lazy, I just want to upload. But what I'm doing here is I was Ultra Boosting my Spike Factory, which allowed me, first off, my pace was just overall faster, so you can see Dread Balloon is right here and just getting absolutely demolished. And now we're going for a Dart Gun, who we get up a degree 20. What? Not degree 40? Yeah, it turns out that's not really needed and just kind of wastes about $100,000, so I would rather just get up a degree 20 and let my Spike Factory also go ham. It's at like 7 over Ultra Boost clocks, which just makes the Energizer that much better, right? Because the Energizer single-handedly probably got 2 of those guys down, so, it went kind of crazy. And now we're kind of letting the Super Mines get a ton of pops against the boss, alright? It gets like 8 or 10 million pops against the boss alone, and then, we're occasionally microing it back to take out these bads before the Dark Gon's balls do, but, it just really is able to absolutely destroy everything. I don't know why I didn't think of Ultra Boost earlier. No one told me about it. I thought of it, and I'm like, it's going to be silly, but hey, why not try it? And here's the results. We got so many pops. Oh my goodness. I got it. I got no catch sacrifice. Degree 71. First try, baby. Oh my goodness. And you're just going to see it absolutely mow down the boss even faster than before. Because this 18% increase in Pierce, okay, which isn't the increase in damage, is actually going to be even more than that, because it's going to be advancing the rounds faster, which allows it to attack faster, which will allow it to advance the rounds faster, which will allow it to attack faster, and it's infinite damage, and you're going to see just how much faster we are mowing down the boss. And you can see all that extra money I could have had is all in the temple and the permanent brew, right? The permanent brew, not nearly as important, but we have a temple down right now, which means it's making us $12,000, no, sorry, $1,200 a round, and it's buffing the income from balloons, which means we can afford, the Dart Paragon on round 176, which is great. Oh no, we got a degree 39 Dart Paragon. You know how sad I was? This was the last day of the event at 1:30 a.m. Each run took me 22 minutes for this whole event. Maybe not 22 minutes the whole time, but this run took me 22 minutes, and so does the next one. And so I was thinking to myself, I'm like, look, I need 195 pops. Please, please let this be 195 pops. I don't want to go back. I really don't want to do one more, because I was so sleep deprived. I was thinking to myself, there's just no way I'm going to be able to do this well again. Alright, and so I'm getting ready for the Druid Gun. I'm at the best pace I've ever been on, because it's my first time with a degree 71. It's absolutely insane. And so I sacrifice enough cash so that I'll have extra, and of course I get a degree 45, which is just very, very good. And I have a Bomb Blitz down. The Bomb Blitz is very important because you can see those rocks are magic immune, and so they're just walking right through me, and the Bomb Blitz takes them out and gets 17 million pops while it's at it, because those rocks just have so much HP. You can see this Druid Gun spot isn't horrible and can hit the boss. And I'm just praying. I'm like, please, please 195, please at least 194, and we get 194, unfortunately, not even close to 195, and I tell myself, alright, yo boy, one final run. This is the last one. I got work in the morning, alright? This next run is going to take me until 2 to complete. But hey, it's worth it for the content. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy 3i. Leave a like, subscribe, and let's hop into the God Run. Alright, this is the best run I did, which is insane considering how late it was, how sleep deprived I was, and how stressed I was. But, I mean, running, watching this clip back, I genuinely just wanted to cry. I did everything so perfectly at such a perfect speed. It's so amazing. I don't know how I did it. It's like magic. I just locked in because I knew I had to. By the way, that engineer that I waited until I was at $7,500 to spend, if I placed it down a little bit earlier or a little bit later, I die. Alright, every single bit of this is like, it's all so perfected, so just a ton of effort went into this. Like, I'm being serious when I say 12 hours. I know, I'm sure some YouTubers lie about how much time they spend or whatever, but I spent 12 hours plus, that's only the recorded time. Alright, I spent so long theory crafting, but just, I placed everything so fast and I used pauses so well. I know you guys probably don't really know what using pauses well means, but pretty much if you pause, you can move your mouse, unpause, and then kind of save like a 15th of a second like that. And trust me, that 15th of a second adds up. I was pausing pretty much between like all 20 of those alchemists, not really, but like, no, I paused so often, and just, I remembered everything so perfectly. I'm on a great pace here. We're going to be starting off, we get a degree 1 Dart Paragon, and just looking at the HP bar of Red Balloon is so funny, right? The pops, you know, they all tell one story, which is that these runs, they're just barely better than the last, alright? And that is not the real story in the slightest. And also, I just did this so fast, and I got so many Ultra Boost stacks and everything. But no, if you look at Pop 160, Red Balloon has like 600,000 HP, right? And at Pop 195, it has 4 million. It gets so much more powerful so fast, yeah. But, you know, we kind of go absolutely crazy here. You know, I'm locked in. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm just built different, alright? After this run was over, I went and I texted the other two Boss Rush players who I consider to be better than me, and one guy who's, I'd say, at my level. You know, yes, there are people better than me. And I told them, I said, I just got 195, which is the highest anyone has gotten so far out of our group. And I told them, I'm like, look, 196, probably possible. I think you guys can pull it off. And let's just say they did not pull it off. I am the sole king of this specific Boss Rush event. Now, I do think there is a chance, there's a pretty good chance that people have done higher than me before. Alright, I do say this is like maybe world record, but I'm going to be completely honest. I know one person has got to 95 before, or 195, so this is at best tied with a world record. But also I hear rumors. I haven't seen footage, so I don't fully believe it, but I hear rumors that some Chinese people were able to get in the 200s, which is absolutely insane. But, you know, subscribe and maybe I'll hit 200 too. But yeah, I mean, we get so many Spike Factory pops. Look at this. Before score 150, you're at 12 million Supermind pops. This guy is just going insane. He has 7 Ultra boosts on this thing. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you is that I do set all these Spike Factories to normal mode, including the Superminds, and normal mode might sound like a weird pick, but all these rocks are blocking them from actually hitting the entrance, and so if I target the entrance, it goes over the track twice, and so it's twice as likely to be blocked by rocks. You might be saying, why don't you target it somewhere else? And that's because it's kind of just luck based, honestly, and so I figured, hey, if I'm diving into luck, why not just put it on normal mode and let, you know, the AI kind of decide where it's shooting. But here we are, we're trying to go for the Spike Factory Paragon, and, you know, degree 71, that is the minimum. If I don't get it, I cry. I got 72. Hey, perfect. The difference between degree 71 and 72 is like a 1% difference, but, I mean, hey, every percent matters, you know, because this is going to be close. I'm going to tell you guys, yes, I got 195. Holy heck, is it close. Alright, but up next we're going for the Dart Paragon. And last time, as I showed you guys, I think we got, what, degree 39, degree 38, whatever. We need the degree 40. I'm 100%, we need it. Like, it's not a question. We need it. And so I'm being extra careful. Alright, I want to buy the Dart Paragon late because I'd rather get, you know, a couple seconds behind and then have my Dart Paragon be a degree 40, which is 25% better than a degree 20. Or no, sorry. It's 25% better than a degree 39, right? It's that big of a gap. You know, I'd rather wait extra and get a higher degree, and that's what I did. I got a degree 45, and I was just so hyped. Okay, I see this pace that we have here, and I am ecstatic. All right, I've got my temple up still. I've got my perma brew. I just have so much money. All right, I'm pretty sure I even have maybe my trap, but I might have sold that for Dart Paragon. I don't remember. Yeah, I just sold my trap now. Yeah, we sell everything and we get Druid Gun. We have 287k remaining, so I'm able to sacrifice 100k. I could have been more greedy and sacrificed more like 150k, but I wanted enough money for my Super Brittle, and I wanted it to just be very safe, alright? This is not, if it was 2 p.m. and I had another 10 hours and I was going to spend 24 hours, but no, this is 2 a.m., I got work at 7, so yeah, I want to be safe, and I got a very good degree, and this, I'm going to bring you to the live reaction, but oh my god, was it close. I was clenching my cat in my arms. Alright, I picked it up at 190, I'm just holding it the whole time. But anyways, I'm going to pass over to the live reaction from me, but like 2 days ago when I was inside. Yes. Unfortunately, my current editing capabilities are very limited in terms of how loud I can make that because iMovie sucks, and I will be switching to a better editing software. But yeah, sorry for a very quiet reaction because, it was 2 a.m. I didn't want to wake up my family, and yeah, I was supposed to be asleep. But I was just holding the cat and petting it, and it was purring so loudly, and I was just so happy. And the cat, I don't know, I think they can read emotions very well because it was happy too, and it was just so fun. But yeah, let's just check out the stats real quick, see what's up. You saw that the Spike Gun got a very high number that I will put in the description, but the Druid Gun got 18 million pops, which is very insane because that's all boss damage. Dart Paragon got 53 million, which is like, it's also insane. I think it probably did as well as the Druid Gun. I wish you could see specifically boss damage. Benjamin alone made 200k, and the Bomb Shooter made 20 million pops worth of just rock balloons, which is crazy. But yeah, Dart Gun, it hits AI balloons all the time, and it's kind of cheating. It is cheator with all of its pops, but god, that was a fun run, and well, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. It's your boy 3i. This has been really something and a lot of work. I'll see you next time. Peace.